Stop. Before you scroll past this, understand one thing. Archangel Michael did not send this message to everyone. Most people will never receive what you are about to hear. The fact that this reached you at this specific hour on this specific day is not an accident. It is not a coincidence. It is a summons. You have roughly 90 seconds before the most important revelation of your current season is spoken. Do not leave. Do not minimize this. Sit still, take a slow breath, and let every word land exactly where it was meant to land. Because Archangel Michael says that what is about to be revealed has already been set in motion, and your awareness of it will change everything. There is a powerful person, someone with government authority, institutional reach, or formal influence, who has your name in front of them right now. They have a file, they have records, they have been watching, reading, and quietly asking questions about who you are. And Archangel Michael says, this is not a threat. This is the beginning of a divine reckoning that was written for you long before you were born. Stay with this. Every word matters. Watch until the very end, because the final message is the one that will settle your spirit completely. Archangel Michael has been trying to reach you for longer than you know. He has sent quiet nudges, that strange thought that arrived out of nowhere, that sudden feeling that something was shifting around you, that sense of unexplained unease sitting in your chest even when your life appeared calm on the outside. He has sent signs through timing, through people who said exactly the right thing at exactly the wrong moment, through doors closing so abruptly that you were left standing in the hallway of your own life wondering what was happening. You dismissed most of it. That is not a criticism. It is simply what humans do when the spiritual world begins accelerating faster than the natural eye can follow. You told yourself it was stress. You told yourself it was overthinking. You kept moving. You kept carrying what you were carrying. And you kept doing it alone, quietly, without letting most people see how much weight you were actually holding. Archangel Michael saw it all. He says that the silence you have maintained, the private battles you have fought without an audience, the prayers you whispered when you were too exhausted to speak loudly, the moments you chose not to break down even when every part of you was pulling in that direction, that silence has been heard at the highest level. Heaven does not require performance. It responds to truth, and the truth of who you are, what you have carried, and what you have refused to abandon despite the cost. That truth has been recorded. This is why what is about to happen around you is not random. It is the result of something that has been building for a long time. It is a response to a life that has held on when it had every reason to let go. Now listen closely to this part. Archangel Michael wants to speak directly into the fear that will immediately try to rise up when you hear what comes next. There is someone, a government official, a person with institutional authority, or a figure of significant formal power who has been examining something connected to your name, your identity, or your energy. They have a file. It may be a literal document, a record, a report, or a situation that carries information about you. They have been reviewing it. They have been asking quiet questions about you in rooms you have never entered, and they want to speak with you. Breathe. Archangel Michael is watching your reaction right now. He knows what the word government does to the nervous system. He knows that the idea of a powerful person holding a file with your name on it triggers something deep, something that goes beyond logic and touches the oldest fears inside you. The fear of being exposed, the fear of being misunderstood, the fear that something you thought was settled, something you thought was done and buried, has somehow resurfaced with consequences attached. He is asking you to set that fear down, not because he is dismissing it, but because that fear is not the truth of what is happening. The fear is an old story trying to interpret a new event, and the new event does not belong inside that old story. The reason this official has your file is not because you have done something wrong. It is because something was done around your name without your knowledge, possibly without your permission, that created a record that is now being reviewed with fresh eyes. Someone at some point may have used your information, your identity, or your energy in a way that was not yours to give. There may have been confusion about who you were, what you were connected to, or what your name was attached to. That confusion created a trail, and that trail has now led a person of authority directly to you. This is not a disaster. This is a correction. Archangel Michael says that what is being reviewed in that file is not evidence against you. It is evidence of what was done to you, and more importantly, it is the beginning of the documentation that will set the record straight once and for all. The official who holds it does not believe you are dangerous. If they believe that, they would not want to meet with you privately. The private nature of this meeting is, in itself, a signal they respect you. They understand that what involves you deserves a direct personal conversation rather than a cold institutional process. They may not be able to articulate why they feel this way. They may not have spiritual language for it, but Archangel Michael says there is something in you, a frequency, a steadiness, a light that your spirit carries, that even people without spiritual awareness can detect. It makes them approach you differently. It makes powerful people pause before treating you the way they would treat just anyone. You carry something rare. Even those who do not understand it can feel it, and that feeling is why this meeting is being approached with care. Archangel Michael says that timing in the spiritual world is never arbitrary. Everything moves according to seasons. There are seasons of preparation, seasons of testing, seasons of hiddenness, and seasons of revelation. What is happening right now around your name, your file, and this official is a movement of season. You have been in a long season of hiddenness. You may have experienced this as being overlooked, underestimated, or passed over. You may have watched other people rise into positions, opportunities, and recognition while you remained in the background doing the right thing, making the right choices, yet somehow not receiving the visibility or the reward that your effort should have produced. You may have begun to wonder quietly in moments you would never say out loud, whether God had forgotten about you, whether heaven had taken note of someone else instead. He has not forgotten. He takes note of everything, and the hiddenness was not punishment, it was preparation. The hardest thing Archangel Michael ever has to explain to those under his protection is this. The greater the assignment, the longer the preparation period, the more significant the future you are being built for, the more precisely you must be shaped before you are placed into it. If God had released you into your full purpose 3 years ago, you would not have had what you have now. You would not have developed the discernment, the patience, the spiritual density, or the emotional stability required to carry what is coming without being crushed by it. The things that broke you down were not evidence of divine neglect. They were the curriculum. And now the season is shifting. The official who wants to speak with you is one of the first visible signs of that shift. Something that has been moving underground beneath the surface of your visible life is beginning to break through. The preparation is not over. But this is the first fruit of it becoming visible. Pay attention to it. Do not dismiss it as coincidence. Do not shrink from it in fear. This is what emergence looks like. Archangel Michael says he wants to give you more detail about the nature of what this official has found, because understanding it will help you walk into that conversation without being blindsided by the information that comes out. The file may contain one or more of the following. Something connected to your identity, your name, your records, your documented history, that was used, referenced, or attached to something you were not aware of and did not authorize. Someone may have spoken your name in a context that created a formal record. Someone may have listed you in a document in a way that linked you to a situation or decision that was never truly yours. Something connected to your past, a chapter of your life that you believed was closed, that has come up in a broader investigation, review, or inquiry that has nothing to do with you personally, but happen to include details that involve you. The official may have come across your name while looking for something entirely different, and found that the details did not add up, did not match the person they expected to find, or raised questions about whether you had been treated correctly. Something connected to your future, rights, records, documentation, or legal standing that you did not know existed. There may be something you are entitled to, something that belongs to you by legal, financial, or formal right, that has been sitting in an institutional system untouched because no one knew to connect it to you, or because someone chose not to connect it to you. In any of these cases, Archangel Michael says the meeting is not one to fear. It is one to enter with calm clarity. You are not walking into judgment, you are walking into correction. The difference between those two things is everything. If you feel a deep settling in your chest right now, a quiet, almost wordless sense that what you are hearing is true, then you know this message was meant for you. That peace is not coming from your emotions. Emotions would be anxious right now. That peace is coming from a deeper place. It is the confirmation of the Spirit that what heaven has been doing around you is real, and what is about to come into the open is not your destruction. It is your vindication. Type the word clarity in the comments right now if you feel that peace. Let it be a declaration, an agreement between your spirit and what heaven has already spoken over you. Watch how many others are standing with you in the same moment. This is the part that surprises people most when Archangel Michael explains it, so he wants to make sure you do not miss the depth of what is being said here. God does not only work through churches, he does not only work through prayer circles, spiritual communities, or holy ceremonies. He works through everything. He works through journalists, he works through doctors, he works through strangers, and yes, he works through government officials, institutional investigators, and people with formal authority who may have never prayed a single prayer in their lives. When heaven decides that a truth needs to come to light, it uses whatever channel is already in position to carry it. If there is a person inside an institution who has access to a file that contains information relevant to your life, God does not need that person to be spiritual in order to use them. He simply needs them to be in the right place at the right time, and to have enough integrity, intuition, or professional curiosity to follow the thread they have been handed. This official followed the thread. They did not know they were being moved by something beyond their own curiosity. They may have told themselves they were simply doing their job, following procedure, being thorough. But Archangel Michael says the real source of their movement was not paperwork. It was the spiritual architecture of a plan that was set in place long before either of you was born. This is how significant your life is. Heaven does not redirect people in positions of power to intervene in ordinary circumstances. When an official is moved, spiritually, even unknowingly, to open a file, ask questions, and request a private meeting with someone, it is because the life of that someone has a weight that extends beyond what the natural world can see. You are that someone, your life carries that weight, and this official, without knowing it, is being used to hand you something that belongs to you. Archangel Michael says, receive it without fear. Receive it without letting old stories about authority, about institutions, about what power usually does to people like you, without letting any of that tell you what this moment means. This moment is not a repeat of any other moment in your history. This is new. This is appointed. This is yours. There is something else Archangel Michael needs you to understand, and it is perhaps the most important piece of what he is saying today. You know about the battles you have fought. You remember the nights. You remember the decisions. You remember what it cost you to keep going when every logical part of you said that stopping made more sense. You know the weight of what you have carried and the price you have paid to carry it quietly. But you do not know about the battles that were fought on your behalf in the unseen places. Every time your name was spoken in a room with wrong intentions, heaven responded. Every time someone tried to use your identity, your energy, or your reputation as a tool for their own purposes, there was an intervention you never witnessed. Every time a door appeared to close on you, suddenly, unexpectedly, in a way that felt like rejection, there were situations on the other side of that door that would have harmed you, and what felt like rejection was actually protection. Archangel Michael says, the closed doors were not failures. They were shields, and the chaos that tried to attach itself to your name, the confusion, the mischaracterizations, the quiet damage that others tried to do to the way you were perceived, that chaos was consistently being met and dismantled before it could fully settle. You moved through your life feeling the weight of it. You felt the resistance, you felt the friction, but the friction you experienced was always less than what was actually being aimed at you. You were being covered, you were being defended, and the evidence of that defense is the simple fact that you are still here, still intact, still carrying your light, when there were moments where circumstances were arranged precisely to extinguish it. Now that covering is producing something visible. The protection that has been working silently in the background is now producing a tangible outcome in the natural world. The official, the file, the meeting, these are not new events. They are the visible surface of something that has been moving beneath the ground of your life for years. You are now at the point where the underground spring breaks through the earth and becomes a river you can see and drink from. Archangel Michael does not only speak to prepare you emotionally, he speaks to prepare you practically, so he has specific things to say about how you enter this conversation. Whenever it comes, enter with stillness. The first thing anxiety will try to do is fill the space before the meeting even begins. In the days leading up to it, in the minutes before it starts, in the first few seconds of the conversation itself, anxiety will push you toward over-explaining, over-defending, filling silence with words that were not asked for. Resist that. Stillness is not weakness. In this context, stillness is authority. Let the information come to you first. The official has something to share before you react, before you respond, before you form an opinion about what is being said. Listen, all of it. Let the complete picture emerge before you begin to interpret any piece of it. Something that sounds alarming in the first sentence may become clarifying by the 10th. Give the information room to complete itself. If something surprises you, breathe before you speak. There may be a detail, something about your past, your name, your records, or someone connected to your life that you did not expect to hear in that room. Archangel Michael says that surprise is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that heaven has been working in a room you did not have access to. Breathe, receive it, respond from steadiness, not from shock. Do not share everything immediately after the meeting. There will be a period of processing. Archangel Michael says that some things are meant to be held quietly before they are spoken aloud. Not everything needs to be announced. Not every breakthrough needs an immediate audience. Sit with what you learn. Let it settle into your understanding before you bring it into conversation with others. Some people will not be able to receive what you are about to carry, and that is their limitation, not yours. Know that you are being watched over in the meeting itself. His words are specific on this point. The same covering that protected you through every unseen battle is present in that room. You will not be alone. You will not be undefended. You will not say the wrong thing if you stay rooted in your spirit. The peace you feel going in is the signal that you are held. The meeting is not the end point. It is a doorway, and what is on the other side of it, Archangel Michael says, is a season of your life that looks fundamentally different from the season you are leaving behind. Some specific things are coming, clarity where there has been confusion. Things that have been murky about your identity, your past, or your standing in the world are about to become clear. You will have answers to questions that have been following you for years. Not all of them at once. Clarity arrives in layers, but the first layer will break something loose inside you that has been locked for a long time. Restoration of things taken from you. The process that is beginning is not only about information, it is about restitution. If something was wrongly taken, wrongly attributed, or wrongly withheld from you, whether materially, legally, reputationally, or relationally. The correction that is coming is not only about setting the record straight, it is about returning what is yours to its rightful place in your life. Access to people and spaces that were previously closed. When the record is corrected, when your name is cleared of what was attached to it without your knowledge, the energetic and practical weight of that correction will open passages that have been blocked. You will find that certain conversations happen more easily. Certain doors respond differently. Certain people who were positioned at a distance begin to move closer because the interference that was creating the distance is being removed. A quieter nervous system. This may sound small, but Archangel Michael says it is significant. The background tension, the low-level hum of unease that you have been living with for so long that you have begun to mistake it for your natural state, is about to lift. Not entirely at once, but the source of much of it is connected to what is being addressed through this process. As the truth comes out, as the record is corrected, as the clarity replaces the confusion, you will begin to feel physically different, lighter, more present, less braced for impact. Archangel Michael wants to close with something that has nothing to do with the official, the file, or the meeting. He wants to speak directly about you. You were not built for a small life. The difficulty of your journey is not cruelty. It is design. You were shaped for something that requires a particular kind of depth, and depth is only formed through pressure. What broke in you was not the essential part. The essential part kept breathing, kept trusting, kept moving forward when there was no evidence that it would produce anything. That part did not break. It was being made unbreakable. You have spent time wondering if you were seen moving through spaces where your presence was undervalued, where your contributions were taken without acknowledgement. That experience left marks. Archangel Michael does not minimize that. Those marks are real. But alongside those marks, hold this: the one who designed your gifts, who chose the shape of your calling, has never looked away from you. Not once. The seasons of silence were not absence. They were the precise, careful silence of a craftsman working at the finest detail of something that must be exactly right before it is released. You are being released. The official with the file is the first visible evidence of heaven, moving on your behalf in the natural world. Walk toward it without fear. You are covered. You are known. And you are entering the season where that becomes something you can touch. Before this message ends, Archangel Michael asks one thing of you. Not a grand gesture, not a dramatic response. He simply asks that you make an internal agreement with what has been spoken here. Not because agreement makes it true, it is already true, but because your conscious agreement opens you to receive it fully rather than watching it unfold from a distance, half believing, half doubting, never fully claiming what was placed in your hands. The agreement is simple. I am not afraid of what is coming into the open. I receive clarity. I receive correction. I receive what belongs to me. I walk into this season with my spirit steady and my eyes open. I know that I am not alone. If you are willing to make that agreement, type Amen in the comments. Not for performance, not for the algorithm, for yourself. Let the written word be the seal on the internal declaration. Watch what begins to shift in you, simply by making that agreement visible. And if this message has spoken to something real inside you, if you felt a recognition, a settling, a sudden sense that this was not a random encounter, then subscribe to this channel. Stay close. What Archangel Michael is releasing through this space is not a one-time word. It is a sustained transmission for those who are in an active season of transition, correction, and emergence. There are more messages coming. Not every message will be for every person, but the ones that are meant for you will find you. The same way this one did, at exactly the moment you need them most. Stay, watch the next one. You will know by the first 30 seconds whether it was sent for you. Archangel Michael's closing message is this: Every battle you fought in silence has been witnessed. Every tear that fell in a room where no one saw you was caught. Every moment you chose integrity when dishonesty would have been easier. Every moment you chose faith when evidence was absent. Every moment you held your peace when reacting would have felt justified. All of it has been recorded in a ledger that no institution can touch and no person can erase. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not the exception to the rule of divine faithfulness. You are the demonstration of it. What is coming toward you through this official, through this file, through this meeting? It is not the full measure of what heaven has prepared for you. It is the opening movement, the first chord of a symphony that has been composed specifically for your life. Listen for it. Step toward it. Let it play. The season of hiddenness is ending. The season of emergence has begun, and you are already in it. You began entering it the moment you chose not to scroll past this message. Archangel Michael says, go forward. What is ahead of you has already been cleared. Walk into it. If this message reached you at the right moment, leave a comment below telling Archangel Michael what you are believing for in this season. Your words matter. Your testimony may be the thing that holds someone else steady. Subscribe. Stay close. There is more coming. And remember, you did not find this by accident.